As part of our 2A history project, here is a blast from the past.
Sir?
Should I stand up here?
Yeah, for just a second.
Okay.
We're going to stand. This is dead center. All right, and we are on, we're running, we got sound, and I will double check this when we do our intro. All right, I need a haircut too. That's okay.
Well, myself.
Edit. 3, 2, 1. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Austin, Texas, and this young man standing here is none other than Chip McCormick himself. And of course, Chip has had a very spectacular career in shooting. Of course, he is a manufacturer. How about an entrepreneur? And yes, he's going to be doing some features for us on our program, giving you folks some ideas about how to shoot a gun fast and accurately. And tell you the truth, he's one of the best qualified people in the country. Now, Chip is a 2-time world speed shooting champion, and of course his office, he's got trophies and plaques for days in here, and we're so pleased to have him on the program today. Chip makes some very unique products that I know a lot of you are going to be interested in and will certainly help all of us. Edit. All right. And we're going to come back up and we'll say, Chip, what you going to show us? What are you going to show us?
Okay.
And tell us some of your, all right, stand up one more time. We're going to come back. All right, we're going to come back and say, all right, edit. Back in. 3, 2, 1. Now, Chip, what are you going to show us today?
Well, Johnny, let me start off by kind of telling you how I got started in this program. I manufacture performance improvement products for 1911. Way back when I started competing in world-class competition for the purpose of winning trophies like this and titles, I began my effort to improve the performance and the dependability of the 1911 pistol. That kind of evolved into a business, and now that's my full-time effort now in business, is to deliver products to the public, the 1911 owner, to improve the performance and dependability in their pistols. And to do that with products that are very simply installed and easy to understand, but make your pistol a lot more fun to shoot. And
When you said easily installed, that's a big one.
That is a big one, because people commonly believe that when you do any improvement to your pistol, you have to send it to a gunsmith, and it's gone for weeks or months at a time, and it's going to cost a whole lot of money. And we're trying to put a stop to that. We're trying to make those performance improvements easy. We're increasing the capacity of the pistol, and we're making the trigger pull equal to that of what we think a master grade gunsmith could do.
Well, all right. Well, let's take a look.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Edit. 3, 2, 1.
You know, Johnny, one thing you learn in competition is your equipment. You're constantly trying to improve the performance and dependability. And the pistols that I was using in these world championships were certainly state of the art, and I think their performance and dependability was as good as any pistol on the market at the time. Now what I'm trying to do today is to deliver products to the 1911 owner that give him performance and dependability improvements. First thing I'd like to discuss with you is my very first product, which was the 8-round 1911 magazine. The original 1911 magazine was a 7-shot magazine, and what I have here is a patented follower device, which associated with the spring, you install that in your standard 1911 magazine, and immediately you get 8 rounds in there. Now, we sell the magazine complete. As a matter of fact, we're fortunate that 2 of America's top 1911 manufacturers use these magazines as factory standard in their pistols. I think that's testimony to the performance improvement and the dependability. But we do sell just a spring and follower kit, and it installs very easily in your standard magazines, just like this. And that's all it takes, and your 7-round magazine's now an 8-round magazine. The other products that we make is a replacement hammer and sear. You replace the standard hammer and sear that came with your original 1911, this being a copy of a 1911, and what you end up with is what, in my opinion, is a master grade trigger pull. Now, it's basically designed for a gunsmith to install and safety check the mechanism, but really anybody qualified to remove and replace parts in a 1911 is capable of installing these components.
All right, now edit. We're going to get a shot of the hammer and sear, and I'm going to just let the camera run with freeze frame. And I've got a good shot of that lube in there while we're at it, just for fun. It's perfect. It's already in there.
Oh, okay.
So you can talk about, and you just might put your finger over on that lube there.
Okay.
All right, edit back. We'll come back in, and do you want to talk about that hammer and sear and the lube?
Yeah, we'll talk about the hammer and sear a little bit.
Okay. All right, we've got our picture. Edit. 3, 2, 1.
Johnny, this hammer and sear utilizes some of the most state-of-the-art technology available in manufacturing today. The hammer and sear is cut out of a steel plate with an EDM process. That stands for electrical discharge machining. That's a process that can cut a profile to a tolerance of 1,000. That is 1/3 the thickness of your human hair. And that's real important to get the performance that we want, is we're holding very close tolerance. Now, another thing that we're able to accomplish is we put a polish we call the micro finish on the engagement surfaces of the hammer and sear. That allows us to control the parallelism, the angular alignment, which allows us to get the perfectly crisp and trigger pull of a poundage of whatever is appropriate for the application the customer wants on their pistol. We've also developed a lubricant which is intended only for these two engagement surfaces where the sear engages the cock notch of the hammer, and it will extend the service life of the components.
All right, hold up. Got an edit point here. 3.
Hold on, Johnny, where am I?
3, 2, 1.
Johnny, this is a special lubricant we call Trigger Job. Trigger Job is intended for the specific application to the engagement surface of your trigger group. In this case, the sear tip and the cock notch on the hammer. It's a high viscosity lubricant. It has a very adhesive ability, which means when the gun gets hot or gets hot outside, the lubricant will not run off of the surfaces that we've applied them to. This lubricant will extend the service life of the components, as well as reduce the trigger pull simply by its application. Some people have said application of this lubricant is in itself like doing a trigger job. And the last thing I wanted to discuss is a new product I'm working on for the future, and this is a replacement frame that will replace the original frame of your 1911. And what this frame is going to give you is it's going to give you a total capacity of going from 8 rounds of a standard 1911 to 13 rounds with this new frame. Additionally, the new frame is going to have single action and double action capability, and what we're trying to do is make this old warhorse, the 1911, as such that it'll be competitive with any of the brand new pistols on the market today, which have double action and single action and all the features that make them popular, such as high capacity. And Johnny, that's about all we have to talk about today. We sure thank you for coming to Austin, Texas, and look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, take 2 on the frame and outro. Edit. 3, 2, 1.
Johnny, one more thing I want to tell you about today is a new frame that I'm working on. It's a replacement frame for the old 1911 pistol. The replacement frame being the silver part you can see here. This one looks a little rough because it's an early prototype, but it's going to be an exciting product when we go to market with it, because what it's going to do is this replacement is going to increase the capacity of your old 1911 from 8 rounds to 13 rounds. Additionally, it's going to have double action capability. My intention is that when you replace your old frame with this one, is you now have a pistol that is up to date, state of the art, as any of the brand new pistols which are on the market today offering double action and high capacity. Of course, we'll be doing it with the old dependable caliber 45. With that said, we'll talk about that in the future. Johnny, why don't we go back into the shop and take this hammer and sear and install it in the pistol and see just what kind of trigger job we can do for you today.
We'll be happy we're here.
We'll be happy we're here.
All right. Edit. 3, 2, 1.
Johnny, we're back in the stock room here at Chip McCormick Corporation. We don't really have a gunsmithing operation, so we're going to make do here. This individual is David Locke. David Locke is in charge of all engineering services for the products that we manufacture. He does the research and development, the designs, and he's the walking, talking, two-legged secret weapon that we have here at CMC. And what we're going to do is we're going to install that hammer and sear, which, by the way, folks, we let Johnny pick out of inventory here, so just to show everybody this is not a fixed or controlled experiment here. And what we're going to do is try and demonstrate for your viewers how simple it is to get a master grade trigger pull on that 1911. Okay, let's do it, David.
What we have here is a standard Series 70 1911. I've had it for several years now. I keep it around as an example of a gun that hadn't been modified. It has all stock parts on it. And
How much?
2.5 right there.
Oh, good gracious.
Between 2 1/4 and 2.5.
Let's call
All
it
right.
2.5.
Now, we'll come back in. Edit. 3, 2, 1. Now, friends, of course, as Chip and David have stated earlier, this the finer points that David was doing here is not for the kitchen table gunsmith. This is for someone who knows how. But as he was saying earlier, it will make a gunsmith's job so much quicker and easier. And what is, after you've adjusted the tension there, what is our trigger pull down to?
So let Chip guess where it is here.
Well, let's see. David, that feels like one of my old competition guns I used to shoot. We're definitely down in the mid 2-pound range here. And for the average viewer, 2 pounds is not appropriate. That's
No.
for a trained competitor to be using. Yeah, a trigger pull
Yes.
trigger pull like that is like an old
Yeah.
friend to me, Johnny. But
But for the average person, this is going to be too light.
that's too light.
Although this is still a safe trigger pull, the hammer's not going to follow the slide down.
Let's lock that slide back, Johnny, and drop it once and see if we can.
And you know, I hate doing this to an unloaded
It's not good
gun.
on a
It's
gun.
not good on a gun, but for our audience today, we're going to do it. And even with this very light trigger pull, let's see if that hammer, because you know, in some applications, when you get the trigger too light on a 1911, that hammer will follow the slide down, and instead of having your gun cocked like it's supposed to be, it'll be hammered down. So let's see what happens. Yes, it did not. It stayed in place like it was supposed to. So I'm certainly impressed with this application.
Let's see what it comes out to be. This is a 2-pound weight.
So we know it's over 2 pounds.
Takes 2 pounds. 2 1/4 pounds.
Whoa, 2.5.
Let's try again.
Okay.
Let's make sure.
For an IPSC club competitor, this would be great.
Right.
For someone, again, though, that is really familiar with their 1911 and the safety procedures on 1911.
It is. And Johnny, I'd say the average gunsmithing time to effect this modification is in the 20 to 30 minute range. So you're not going to spend a lot of money with your gunsmith.
It's right at
And-
2 1/4 pounds.
And I want to say further, these parts are properly hardened because the tolerances we maintain, the service life is extended. You know, there's a lot of aftermarket components out there today, and they're good and they're appropriate for the various applications. But if you want to have the best trigger pull and you want it to last, if you use the gun a lot, which these competitors are firing 30 and 40,000 rounds in a year.
Right.
If you want the trigger to feel at the end of the year like it started the year, you've got to have the best material, the best heat treating, the best manufacturing process. And I want to be honest, Chip McCormick products are not the least expensive, but I feel like you get what you pay for with them.
What's the old Chinese proverb? The good taste of quality will linger a lot longer, and we may edit that out because I don't remember exactly. What is the bad taste of ill quality will linger a lot longer than the savings you had or something?
I have an old saying. When was the last time you regretted buying the best? And I have yet to find many Americans who say they ever regretted buying the very best.
We're going to edit that up. In fact, we're going
You want to do that again?
that's okay. We'll have a quick.
Well, one of the things I want to point out, I didn't point out at the beginning, was that I used a stainless steel hammer here also, which is something I want to point out, because we've done this with the stainless steel parts, and very few people can
Which further extends the service life.
Let's do that. We're come back in. Edit 3, 2, 1. As you were saying, Chip, your parts are not the least expensive, but as you said a moment ago,
I can't deliver the best product to the public and make it the least expensive. It's just impossible, and we all know that. Everybody that's worked hard for their money and has gone out and purchased various products, and we have a saying here around Chip McCormick Corporation that has been very true for the last 6 years. I have yet to find an American who's told me he ever regretted buying the very best, and that's what we make, and we're very proud of that.
Well, I think that's well said, sir. Well, David, wasn't that a stainless steel hammer you put in?
Yes, it was. In fact, that's another thing I'd like to point out, is that we are now using a stainless steel for some of our components, which is of tool grade. In order to use these things, most people will tell you you can't get a trigger job like this using stainless steel components, and that's true using most stainless steels. Stainless steels have a tendency to gall and so forth, but what we've done is we've gone and used a superior material, and in order to use this we have to do some special things to it. Not only do we have to heat treat it and then to draw it twice, but we have to cryogenically age the material in the middle of the process.
Now, cryogenically, David, exactly what does that mean?
Well, basically what that means is I supercool the material. I use nitrogen to take the energy out of the material, because what happens is by heat treating materials we've added a lot of stress and a lot of energy into the material. We're going to basically reduce the energy state of the material and age it as would normally happen over a 5 to 10 year period. Now what will happen is you'll get creep, and sometimes you'll have some stress cracks form if you do this. But by doing this in the middle of the heat treat cycle, we can do it ahead of time, we can remove the stress, and now we're going to have a relatively stress-free part, which is going to extend service life, it's going to increase the safety, and it's going to increase the quality and the feel of the way the part's going to be.
See, friends, wait a minute. Now, you have picked up by now, I mean, this is not cut and file and see if it fits.
This is not Mickey Mouse.
No, this is not Shade Tree or Mickey Mouse stuff. These people are really scientific about what they're doing. They also have extensive use of computer technology, which is really making things possible.
It is.
In a few years in the past, it just was not possible.
It was, as well as the computer technology that's being integrated into the manufacturer is what allows us to maintain the tolerances.
Well, look, now we've said a lot of stuff here, we've showed a lot. If somebody is interested, you have a catalog, I'm sure.
We do have a catalog, John.
And people can call you, and let's tell them how to do that, on how to get in touch with you and find out about your products.
Folks, we have a 1-800 number. It's 328-CHIP, C-H-I-P. If you'll call that number, we'll be happy to send you a free catalog. It will discuss all of our products, how to order them, what their performance is. The magazines are included in that, and we're always happy to hear from you and answer any questions at that number.
And I might add, you saw all those trophies in there on the wall. Now, Chip, nobody gave him those trophies. I mean, he had to go out and work hard, and it's just like a race car builder or driver. Chip is a person who has experimented with, you've probably lost count of all the experimentation you've done on parts and concepts of what would, what wouldn't work. And anytime you have any sort of world recognition for your skill, well, that speaks awfully well. So we're so pleased to be working with Chip and his product line and the good people that are associated with him and his company. So, friends, trust me on this one. This is something that I think is really going to be beneficial to a lot of you. So call them up and get one of those catalogs. You will be impressed.
Johnny, thanks for coming to Austin, Texas. We look forward to
appreciate
getting you back here soon.
Oh, they're good. Look like Hollywood now.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.